Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Vlad, and you're watching me pug my way to 3K rating on a Blood DK in Dragonflight Season 4. I haven't actually played this character since the last time you saw an episode, so let's get to doing some more M+. Probably going to do an 8, but we'll see. I would like to get all the 8s done on this week, but considering that there's still 6 of them that I haven't done, I'm probably going to have to do quite a bit of it on the stream. Speaking of which, you can check out the Twitch stream. It's always linked in the description down below. I don't actually know which one of these dungeons to do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a random name picker thing, and I'm going to have it pick out a random dungeon from all of these that I haven't done on a +8. Now the wheel of names will actually determine what our fate is, so let's take a look here. Is it Azure Vault or Neltherus? It looks like it's an Azure Vault. Time to get killed on the first boss. And here we go with a +8 Azure Vault on Tyrannical. Let's see how this goes. Fairly confident we can do this. I've learned recently that you can actually avoid the damage that the first boss does after he's done doing his whole, like when you point his breath afterwards, you can actually just kind of not stand in the crap anymore. For some reason, I thought that thing tracked you, and I only recently learned that that is not the case. So I'm thankful to whoever commented that. I remember reading that and feeling like an absolute idiot, but I'm still thankful for them teaching me that that is not the case. Group seems to be ready to blast, honestly. I like to see it. I just need to make sure I don't hit these little whelps. There we go. Gonna make sure we kick these vapors. There's AoECC coming out. No reason to let them cast for free. They only cast every 20 seconds or so. As you can see from this WeakAuras that I have, that puts the cooldown of their abilities next to their nameplate. I'm gonna clear these out and then I'm gonna jump down. I don't want to have any shenanigans with the snaps and whatnot. Okay, hit this thing and blood boil for aggro on the little things. And there's a kick from somebody. I'm just gonna pull these two for now. And once we have this kick, there we go. We will head over to the last one. Beautiful. Just gonna grip this so we don't have any issues. I don't have a kick available, so somebody else is going to have to kick this last one. Hopefully somebody does. Okay, we'll have to dispel. That's fine. We're going to grip that thing in the back again and get back into our D&D so we can do damage. Lots of crap in my D&D. Not a huge fan of that. Big swirly as well, but it's not an issue. I can step back where the swirly was afterwards. It's these little swirlies that I have to worry about because they leave pools behind. We're going to kick that because I'm the only one with a kick available right now, it seems. And that dies before we have to kick it, and we're donezo. I'm not using my dancing rune weapon because there's no real reason to. I'm about to fight the boss and there's no reason to spend it right here. I'm gonna get I'm gonna give the healer a bit of a time to get his mana back. Apparently he blasted quite a bit of HPS or something, I don't know, or wasted a bunch of mana, I'm not sure. I'm gonna save our gather up with the infused strike. Sorry, 1 second, my brain is just overclocked right now. I need to get that thing's attention, point this like so. I can't actually move it, it does track, so somebody lied to me, but that's okay. Taunt that, make sure we have aggro, and drop this. I want to make sure I destroyed this. Hopefully someone does that as well. Someone's positioning to destroy it, that's good. And now we do grippy hands, drop a D&D in the middle of the room. I want to be in the middle of the room anyway. Taunt that one that isn't hitting me. Consuming stomp coming through. I gotta get out of these swirlies, they hurt, no joke. There we go. Leyline sprouts coming out. I can figure out where exactly he's going to position those. Now I can move him away and make sure that I point him. Sweet baby Jesus, that hurts. Make sure that I point him and destroy 4 trees. There's this coming out. We're going to use Lichborn to help survive that. We managed to destroy 4 trees. That's all I wanted. The rest of the trees, the rest of the group can handle. No reason for me to stand in that inner circle. It just does a bunch of extra damage. The saplings aren't being destroyed all that quickly, but that's okay. We're going to drop a D&D over here. Make sure that we get to the saplings so we can blood boil them so we get aggro. So one of them that I don't have aggro on, I'm going to taunt that one directly and manually. Leyline sprouts coming through. I thought that was the infused strike. That's my bad. I have to move around quickly so that I can dispose of multiple trees. Okay, I am going down here. If I don't get the death strike out, I didn't get a death strike out. I need a CR very quickly. There we go. We're going to taunt this. Erupting Fissure is not going to destroy enough trees, but hopefully we were able to kill the boss before any shit goes down. 4%. Here comes the stomp. Keep hitting the boss, fellas. Keep hitting the boss. He needs to die. We can't survive otherwise. There's gonna be... Oh, okay. That's my bad. I let myself die to a tank buster because I ran out of resources, because I used my anti-magic shell at the wrong time. I used it when he started casting the trees or the sprouts or whatever, instead of using it for infused strike, and then I just didn't have it and I went down. I also failed to use the healthstone. I have a very bad time using healthstones. I always forget they exist, so that's on me. So far so good. There was a very quick CR. Somebody did go down, I think. Yeah, sure, I will PI our priest paid the price for my negligence. I'm going to blame this on the fact that I haven't played Blood DK in a couple of days. I've been playing Fury Warrior and I've been playing Shadow Priest actually on the NA account. Played that during the NA stream. Every Sunday I do an NA stream. Those have been fairly fun. When Danny plays with me, I play a Brewmaster Monk. And when she doesn't play with me, I'll be playing that Shadow Priest. All right, the patrol is on the exact opposite side of the room, so we're just going to pull this group over here. There's no point in dragging to the patrol just to fight the patrol. The patrol will come over while we are still fighting the curator, so it's not a big deal. We're going to... Okay, I didn't need to interrupt that, so that works out. Okay, grippy hands to move that thing. I'm going to blood boil these guys, get them into aggro, and I want them to get back into range from the curator so we can actually interrupt or cleave all of them. That's what I'm trying to do. I grip the keeper to make sure I interrupt icy bindings so that we can get out of all of the nasty stuff that gets put on the ground by the curator. Okay, and see, that worked out. We waited for the patrol to come over. That way we could still cleave them while fighting the curator, because the curator is going to survive for a while. Not exactly ideal. We have the Shadow Priest pulling for us. We're just going to grab this patrol too. It's not a big deal because it's not fortified. If it was fortified, I'd be a little bit scared, but it all works out. We're going to move out of the circle. We're a little bit slow due to the little effect that's on us. Little wings that you can see, like the wild magic or whatever. I'm going to use Lightning Sleet here to prevent these frontals, and I'm going to grip this other one to prevent the other frontal. The frontal is the thing that hurts the most here from the Furies. You want to make sure you interrupt that if you have any way to do so. As a DPS, I suggest interrupting those with your personal stun, like with single target stuns or with AoE CC, with whatever you've got, because it hurts. It hurts the tank a lot, especially, like I said, on Fortified. On Fortified, if your tank dies, it's because the Furies got not much else really kills the tank here. All right, we want to make sure we point these guys away from the rest of our group. They just cast their Arcane Furies. We're going to grip that to interrupt it, and we're going to grip this to interrupt it as well. There we go. Key thing is to make sure you don't grip them too far away from the curator so that you can cleave all of them. Other than that, you're good. We have another grip available. I'm just going to anti-magic shell this, and then the other one I can grip when it starts casting it. There we go. So that's what you're really looking for. Like I said, as a tank, that's what's going to kill you, and that's also what's going to kill your group if you don't make sure that you point it away from everyone. Of course, if there's a melee that keeps running in front right next to you, then, well, that's on them. But for the most part, that's something to keep in mind. So you always want to move your party away from those. Now here, because of the Furies being only on the right, we're going to go left with these constructs and whatnot, because it's a lot easier of a pull. And you don't need to clear everything here. You just need to get over to the next, whatchamacallit, to that book. We don't actually, I think we don't need to kill the patrol, so if I'm able to, I will skip the patrol, but if it pulls when we come over, I'll just kill it anyway. Struggling a little bit on the HP front. That's my bad. I let the frontal go through and I didn't avoid it. It's very easily avoidable, but it's very faint on the ground, as you can see. Because of everything in this godforsaken dungeon being blue, you kind of just don't really see it because it blends in with everything else. Gonna death grip, or not death grip that, but interrupt it, and we should be good. We just need this to die. We're gonna grab the book. The patrol is far enough away for us to not worry about it, so we're just gonna grab the book and move on to the next room. And in the next room, we can make up our count. All right, there's the guard. We're going to death grip the guard, and we're going to position over here. We're going to taunt this, walk over and blood boil. We can use this dancing rune weapon here. Very nice. Icy bindings got interrupted. Thank you to whoever did that. I've been making a lot of use of my macro for dropping the D&D at my feet. Usually when I manage to get everything to group up, I have an easy time just using that one, so I don't have to position my mouse or anything. We're going to kick the bindings. The lieutenant is walking over to us right now. I'm gonna go ahead and hit them. Hopefully people CC the guy in the back, even though I'm walking away from it. And we're gonna use this. There we go. I'm a little bit scared of fighting the lieutenant along with everything else. There's the breath. It's not too scary for me, I guess, because it is tyrannical and not fortified. If it was fortified, I'd be more scared of fighting anything alongside the lieutenant, but luckily it isn't. So as you can see, it makes a really big difference whether or not it's fortified, depending. That'll dictate how you decide what your pulls are, obviously. That's the lieutenant dead. We kind of want to kill the guard, but I think we can kill the guard along with the boss. I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to pull the guys on the side, like apart from the boss. Okay, Shadow Crash only hit the two little attendants. Gonna kick the icy bindings. I'm going to try and save all of my resources for the boss. The ice cutter I can just stutter step away from, so I don't need to get hit by it. Icy bindings getting interrupted yet again. No reason to get hit by that. It hits the entire group, and then when these attendants drop their AoEs, you actually have a bit of trouble with it. All right, everyone's got all their cooldowns. Just gonna go ahead, start kicking ass. I'm gonna actually use my grippy hands that might help me out with these guys. I'm going to try and just keep grouping them up. Arcane Cleave being a bit of a pain in the ass here at it because it hurts like hell. Being mindful of where people are standing because they can and will walk in front during the Arcane Cleave and just get murdered. Ancient Orb coming out. That's for the group to deal with. Could use some interrupts on this guy, but it all worked out. Overwhelming Energy. We can kind of position wherever we want to, but ideally we would help the healer by positioning in a way where he can cleave heal us if that's a thing. We have a CR available for this person if necessary. It might be safer to CR them later rather than now, but it seems we chose to CR right now. I can control that, so I'm going to go ahead and do so. I do still have control on dead bound, so I used it. I'm gonna grab this image, put a focus on it, and then interrupt it at the end of its cast time so we can reduce the amount of time it spends casting. There's another image. There's the cleave. We're gonna use anti-magic shell to reduce the damage because the cleave actually does magic damage. We're looking to interrupt the image when it casts its next spell. Was not necessary, it would seem, because it was just about dead. And we're gonna summon in our dancing rune weapon. I've adjusted my WeakAuras to only actually show up when dancing rune weapon is on cooldown. So you saw there the second I used it, it showed up, not just because of the number of, what are they called, bone shield charges, but because dancing rune weapon was on cooldown for more than with 25 seconds or more left on the cooldown. The reason I set it to check for 25 seconds or more is because it uses 5 stacks of bone shield, and for each stack of bone shield that is consumed, you get 5 seconds back. So 5 times 5 is 25, obviously, so you want to make sure that you have the maximum effectiveness out of your bone, our tombstone. Unfortunately, our warlock did go down here, so I'm 1 person down for clearing these ads, but the boss is dead basically as soon as those ads are gone because he's at 2%, and that should be done so. 21% mana on the Resto Druid. No, not the Resto Druid, but the priest is rezzing, so the Resto Druid can drink. The Resto Druid is drinking. I'm going to start moving towards the next group because there's a lot of grouping that I need to do. I have Abomination Limb available. W and V are like really annoying for me because my language doesn't actually have W's, so I kind of mix the two up randomly and it always sounds weird. All right, so we're going for big pulls here so we can make up any count that we lost while we were moving around. The only mob that's dangerous here is the breaker, so you really just resign yourself to just pulling 1 breaker at a time. Everything else is fair game. Like, it doesn't matter what else you pull. As long as there's only 1 breaker, you're good. And even when there's 2, you could survive that, but it's just really hard to group up more than 2 breakers or more than 1 breaker because there's only 1 in every section or so of this. So dragging for long enough to have 2 breakers in the same pole is actually not efficient unless you can move extremely quickly, which I'm a blood DK. How the heck am I supposed to do that? Just making sure I hit everything here. We're going to stop at the door, after which we have another breaker. As you can see, I'm dragging these mobs for a long time even now. We're just going to grip this over, drop a D&D here, and this is where we'll fight. Now the Shadow Crash should come in at any second here, unless it's on cooldown already. And now we can fight in this one spot, which is ideal because we have a Destro Warlock and a Fire Mage, both of which want the mobs to stand in the same exact spot for as much as possible. Now, I'm low on health, apparently. I'm low on Bone Shield charges, so I'm using Morrowind. I don't really like using Morrowind. I much prefer generating things with grippy hands and with Death's Caress because it's just more efficient on a rune basis, and also with whatchamacallit, dancing rune weapon. I'm hoping here that we do have enough count. I'm just gonna hit this, grab this frog over there. Okay, just use grippy hands. Screw it. Grippy hands into this, into tombstone, and all is well. That gets us to near full %. And then the last 2 breakers after this door should get us %. If not, we'll have to double back at the end of the dungeon, and then that'll be a pain in the booty hole, but oh well. It looks like I am being bitten in the ass by the 3 little plants at the start that I didn't pull, along with the patrol. This will not in fact be %. Missing both TP out and back in at end. So I typed to the group that we are missing % and that we'll have to TP out and back in at the end of the dungeon, which I think is okay because once you kill the last boss, there's an NPC that spawns in, and you can talk to the NPC to teleport you out of the dungeon or to the start of the dungeon. I'm not sure which one of the 2 it is. And then you can, I need to mind control this. Yeah, we still got hit by it. I thought somebody else would take care of it. Maybe they couldn't target it from these 2 guys being on top of it, but it all worked out. I mind control it. Only 1 stack went through. It's not a big deal. And there we go. I'm kind of low HP. Gonna fly over. Only need about 3%, so the room at the start should be good. Someone says we didn't kill slimes, GG. It's not the slimes. The slimes don't give that much %. The bigger issue was the patrol that we didn't kill on the first of of these rings, but that's okay. It's going to cost us a bit of time, but we're still going to probably 2-star this run, which I'm very happy with because I was kind of scared. You saw me die on the first boss, and that is the boss I was scared of the most. So if we could get through that, I think we're good. I'm not going to use my grippy hands here just yet because the boss will fly away soon, as you can see, and it would have been standing here flapping my arms around doing nothing. I'm gonna mind control one of these. Hopefully we mind control both. We did seem to mind control both, but we also slept one, it looks like. Okay, no, we mind controlled both. That's wonderful. We're going to now use grippy hands because that'll give us extra DPS. Ideally, we would skip one of the intermissions on this boss, and that way we can save a little bit of time, about 10 seconds or so of time. Trying to move the boss over so that everyone can walk through these lines while there's still some space. It would be good if somebody else would step over to this side, because that way the person that's all the way in the back won't be cut off, but it worked out by everyone lining up against this. There's the Devastator. It can be dropped, by the way, by Vanish, by Shadow Meld, by what else? Just gonna stand over here in Tombstone. Feign Death as well, invisibility by a mage. So if you have any of those, you can actually drop the Icy Devastator and you won't get beamed down. Okay, here comes the El Jefe. It looks like we will skip the last intermission. I would like to think so, at least. I'm going to stand over here, so I'm still in my D&D. Drop a new one. I just want to stand in my D&D as much as possible, because then whenever Bone Shield does break, there's a crap ton of, whatchamacallit, extra damage, because it does triple damage while you're standing in your D&D. New D&D going down. Another Frost Bomb coming soon after this Icy Devastator. Boss will most likely die before he goes into for another absolute 0 in 8 seconds. Hopefully we can get 5% done in 8 seconds. Come on, guys. I believe. Get him. Screw him up. Oh, come on. We have to go do another one. That's okay. It's not a long time. It's not a long cast or anything. Hopefully nobody dies. That'll cost us some time. And as he lands, he dies. Or she, my apologies. I don't actually know because my dialogue volume is turned off, so I can't tell from the voice, and all of the Drakthir look the same to me, so very androgynous. Mana, question mark. We're gonna look to see if the healer needs mana. They're at 34%, so we're just going to assume that they do. We've got a good chunk of time remaining for a 2-star, so this looks like it'll be a 2-star. Okay, healer says go. We heard them. We're going to just use absolutely everything right off the bat here. Dragon Strike is the thing I'm looking out for here. We're going to use Anti-Magic Shell. There we go. We barely felt it. This one isn't being CC'd. I'll have to do it myself. Okay, Crystalline Roar coming through. Nobody's standing in that. Very good. Need a new D&D, and we can keep going. Dragon Strike coming through. I need to immediately Death Strike afterwards to regain my HP. Arcane Eruption coming through, which means more orbs. We're just going to move away from the orbs. No, we're not, because these got destroyed right away. We're going to focus on the one with the skull, because that's the one that has the extra HP. We need those ones in the back to be destroyed. The group is taking care of it. I don't need to reposition. I can stay in my D&D. Unleash Destruction coming through, which means everyone gets pushed back. Dragon Strike coming through. Very close to dying on that one, because I was looking at the incorporeal, so I wasn't paying attention to the Dragon Strike, which is my bad. All right, for the next Dragon Strike, I will have, whatchamacallit, Empiric Embrace, so I should be safe. Okay, trying to stay in range for this crystal to do damage to it. Dragon Strike coming through, but I have my Empiric Embrace active. Not Embrace, Jesus, Empiric Blood. Damn it. We're gonna move. Oh, Danny's yelling from the background. There it is. But we gotta move away from the orbs a little bit, so I have a bit of space to maneuver around them. Dragon Strike coming through. This time I don't have Empiric Embrace. I'm gonna use my Magic Shell, Anti-Magic Shell. Need a new D&D, and now it's just one more set of these crystals. We're gonna drop a new D&D back here so I can stand next to this crystal. Dragon Strike coming through soon, so we're gonna use Icebound Fortitude. Icebound Fortitude reduces the damage taken by 30%, so we just need to get over here and Death Strike this thing. We want it to die. We don't need that thing killing us. Okay, Dancing Rune Weapon coming through. Dragon Strike landing on us. We used Anti-Magic Shell. That took care of it very handily. We're going to mind control the other one. Our healer just went down. We're going to CR them right away. Not risking anything here. That's fine. We just need to do some trash. Okay, where's the NPC? I need to find the NPC. We're gonna ping the NPC so people know that they're there. I'm ready. So we go back to the start and we just hit this. It's fine. Yeah, there we go. Everybody already knows that that's what we want to do. There's 3 Furies, but we can handle it. That should be our percent. There's no reason for me to pull the rest of these. I have my Blinding Sleet available for when the next one goes. There it is. And we're going to Death Grip the last one. That's the AoE, or the frontal. Nice. We're perfectly safe. We're probably going to murder this far sooner than they're able to cast their shit again. I have another Death Grip available for this, so we're going to use that. Next one's coming in 5 seconds. I can tank one of these, especially on a tyrannical. Very good. And with this thing dead, we will have percent. Very nice. Sorry about the percent. And now we use Syndragosa here, Crystal Chambers. And we can use the book, and we can go loot the chest at the end. This is a very comfortable 2-star. I'm quite proud of myself. I feel like I did well. The first Moss caught me off with my pants down because I used the anti-magic shell for the wrong spell. I thought it was an infused strike, but it wasn't. It was the little plant things, and that cost me my life. I could have used other defensives there, which is what I should have done, but I just didn't think on my feet, and I got laid out for it. Hit the macro, let the group know that they can find themselves on YouTube. Hopefully the mage gives us a portal. I'm just casting my Hearthstone in case they aren't. 40 runs and no tome, says this person. This looks like they're casting a portal. There's the portal. Okay, my Hearthstone can keep its cooldown. That was actually a pretty fun run. I'm quite happy with myself. I'm starting to pretty much always 2-star the 8s. So I think it's time to move on to higher keys. Might even be ready for some 10s, but I think what I'll do is I'll round out the week with 8s, and then in the next week I'll start with 10s, and then the week after that we'll push further. Maybe even next week I already push further. See you around, and we're gonna peace out from the group. All right, now that I have my macro for whatchamacallits that does Dancing Rune Weapon and Vampiric Blood at the same time, I'm feeling pretty tanky all the time. Vampiric Blood is on a 33% uptime. I think I could use it even more often and have an even better uptime, because it drops 1 second of cooldown for every 10 runic power I spend, and I spend shit tons of runic power. So I could maybe even squeeze in 2 Vampiric Bloods between each Dancing Rune Weapon, depending on how much I'm being hit and how many times I'm dropping Bone Shield charges. But I think for now I'm kind of happy with this. I need to look at some stats that other Blood DKs have and see what their Vampiric Blood uptime is, but I feel like this is pretty good. I've probably called it Vampiric Embrace about 15 times in the meantime. I keep forgetting, but oh well. Now I at least have the excuse with the NA Shadow Priest that I have. But yeah, speaking of rounding out the week, as you watch this video, I'm going to start a stream shortly afterwards where I will be playing the Blood DK and just pugging some runs. So if you want to check that out and get more D&V content, you can do that. If you can't make it to the stream, there's always VODs coming out, so you can check out Definitely Not VODs on YouTube. It's also linked in the description, so check that out if you can't make it to the stream. But that's pretty much it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you can become a channel member. Channel members get guaranteed replies to their comments, and they get nice little shout outs at the beginning of videos. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.